Call of Duty has just made a massive announcement regarding Season 2, the future of Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2. So they tweeted this image on their official channels. Season 2 will be launching on February 15th. Now, a lot of people thought that this was coming out on the 1st of February based on how long seasons normally are, so it's likely that it was delayed. Our studio teams have been making several changes based on what we've heard from our player community. Season 2 includes all new content with the return of Resurgence and a brand new small map for Warzone 2. Ranked play is also back and coming to Modern Warfare 2, along with new multiplayer maps, new modes, weapons, and much more. Stay tuned for additional intel. And alongside that, Infinity Ward quote tweeted it and elaborated a little bit further. They said that we look forward to sharing more details on the updates coming to Season 2 in a deep dive studio blog next week. This includes exciting changes to Warzone 2.0, including the gulag, looting, and loadouts more soon. This is a pretty big deal as you don't usually get this kind of statement from Call of Duty. So first off, delay to the season. That could be because they've listened to player feedback about changes to the game and they've had to flip with developing something they were working on and go back and change it. But it could also be that it just isn't ready yet and they don't want to release something that isn't finished. But making several changes based on what we've heard from our player community, that's what's the most intriguing about this. And we're going to go into that a bit later on in the video. Of course, we're going to get all new content, the return of Resurgence, and a brand new small map for Warzone 2. I think a lot of people will welcome that. Warzone 1 had so many fans who just enjoyed playing Resurgence on Rebirth Island. Much smaller map, faster paced. You could just get into the action straight away, and if you wiped, queue up again, back into another game really quickly. It was kind of like Team Deathmatch Battle Royale in a way. Good fun, different pace. But people who were missing that in Warzone 2, well, from February 15th, it looks like you'll be getting that experience back again. I'd also hope, and they don't mention DMZ here, but I'd hope that that new map will also be featured on DMZ. You know how they released Building 21? Bit of a letdown because it didn't have any additional missions or anything outside of completing the weapons case 6 times in a row and then getting the unlock for that. So hopefully, small map also has DMZ play on it. We'll have to wait and see though. Ranked play is also coming back to Modern Warfare 2. If you're into ranked play, I think that's a big deal. But I prefer ranked play to come to Warzone 2 as I feel like there's a lot more people playing that and ranked just seems to make a lot more sense to me personally in a battle royale game. If you look at what PUBG and Apex do, for example, keeps people playing. That feeling of satisfaction when you get to another rank, the unique rewards and the carrot on the end of the stick, the unlocks that you can get for reaching those higher ranks, pretty cool. But also it's worth noting that in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, quick play is essentially ranked anyway because you've got hidden MMR and skill-based matchmaking. I am making a video going into that in immense detail, which I've been working on for the last month or so. So watch out for that. I think you'll find that interesting. And then of course, new multiplayer maps, modes, weapons, much more. We'd come to expect that. No idea on what the new maps and weapons are going to be. And Infinity Ward, Warzone 2, changes to the gulag, looting and loadouts. Gulag, maybe they're going to go back to the old 1v1 system. I know a lot of players don't like the 2v2 system because sometimes your partner will just go AFK. They'll run to the center, not communicate with you and die, and then you're left in a 2v1 situation a lot. You've got the jailer, which can just beam you sometimes, which doesn't feel fair. And in all my time playing Warzone 2, I've literally never seen anyone in the gulag team up and kill the jailer together. However, in Warzone 1, the onus was just on you. You got to do it yourself. 1v1, get into it straight away, get it done. No jailer, no beating around the bush. Whoever wins, you're back in the game. So they might be going back to a 1v1 system there. Looting, obviously that was a bit ropey when the game released. It's had some improvements since, but still not the most intuitive system, especially messing around with bags and stuff like that. So interested to see what they do there. And loadouts. So they did make a change to the loadouts recently. You can buy them again from the buy stations, of course, and there's always a drop in the middle of the match with like 5 or 6 loadouts across the map. So they are more available now. Of course, if you want to buy them, they cost a lot more money than they used to. You could do the Strongholds 2, do the Black Site if you get the key. But I think a big part about Warzone 1 being so successful is that you could get that loadout much easier and put whatever you wanted in it. You could choose whatever perks, guns, that kind of thing. And you could get it quite early in the game and you felt like that your setup was a bit more personal to you than it is in Warzone 2. So maybe loadouts will be more readily available. Again, I do think the player base are going to be quite split on that though. Many players prefer that Warzone 2 has kind of gone back to a battle royale genre type of game, whereas others feel like Warzone 1 made an innovation of that formula with the loadouts, and restricting them doesn't make the game as fun anymore. In my opinion, there's a few things that I would love to see changed or added to the game to improve it. Quality of life features really. and also some gameplay changes too, which I think are quite important. But of course, this is just my opinion. It's subjective based on my experience with the game. I've just started to get used to playing Warzone 2 differently to Warzone 1 in terms of the gunplay, the movement mechanics. It's a completely different game in a lot of respects. Much more tactical, much more about positioning than individual and team skill. And I am enjoying the game now and playing it a lot more frequently. But I've made a little list here of things that I would definitely want changed in the game. So let me know if you agree in the comments below or add anything that I missed. And one of the biggest things for me would be improvements with the audio and the footsteps. I don't know what happened, but in the Modern Warfare 2 beta, if any of you guys played that, the footsteps, in my opinion, were perfect. They were some of the best 3D audio footsteps I'd heard in any game. And there's clips on my channel in videos where I can perfectly track people through walls and predict where they're going to be. And then something happened for whatever reason when Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 released. The footsteps were completely different to the beta, dampened down. There's many occasions when you just don't hear footsteps at all in Warzone 2. People that are literally outside the building or running up to you in a building, nothing. I don't know if it's because of other sound effects like kill streaks and vehicles deleting that footstep audio completely. There's definitely a few bugs and glitches with it, but improvements to footstep audio for me would make a massive difference to the game and my enjoyment of it. I'd also slightly increase the time to kill. Maybe add a little bit more HP. I don't want too much more, but just a little bit more, so maybe you don't get as many of those insta-kill deaths where you feel like you just couldn't do anything. I'd make it so that you couldn't stack self-revives and kill streaks in your bag. The amount of times in matches where you down someone, they self-res, you down them again, they self-res. You notice it much more in solos, and it just feels like it's pointless to down them in the first place. There's been occasions where I've literally not shot at someone or not sniped at them because I know I'm just going to down them and they'll have a self-res. I'd rather save my ammo and not give my position away, that kind of thing. And you can stack so many kill streaks and UAVs, especially if you have a large bag. And I think it really breaks the balance and pace of the game. I'd love to be able to loot medium and large backpacks off people that you've killed too. It absolutely grinds my gears when you see a large backpack on the floor and you've just got the default one and you can't pick it up. You can only loot what's on the inside. So I'd love to be able to get those off dead players. In terms of plating, you know, putting plates back in, I'd like the speed at which you can run to be sped up a bit. In Warzone 1, you could full tack sprint and get plates back in, and that meant that you could disengage really quickly from a fight and come back in with full HP. For me personally, that was a bit too quick, so I'm not saying that I want to go back to that level of being able to replay and tactical sprint. I think just a slight boost to speed while you're plating would be good, so you can get away and get back into the fight a bit sooner. As I mentioned before, ranked play, Warzone 2, I think it needs it for the long term. At the moment, the progression is dead and you're essentially playing ranked, but you can't see your rank, and it doesn't lead to a very satisfying experience, especially in terms of progression and engagement over long periods. Ranked would be cool because then you could see, okay, I'm a gold, I'm in a gold lobby. We won that lobby, it was great. Or I'm platinum now and we just got our butt handed to us, but at least you've got some context as to why. And maybe in ranked play you could have unique charms and operators and skins at the end that you could only get if you hit those ranks. So you know, you worked hard for them, you've got something to show for it. At the moment you can't really even track your wins or anything like that, so that's another thing that would be great. Progression, proper stats, leaderboards, I'd love to see all that stuff come back. I'd also just give everyone a 3-plate vest to start with. The time to kill is already so quick in this game that when you land and you pick up an SMG, everyone's got a blue plate. You can just delete people really quickly. But if you're lucky enough to find a 3-plate, you're at a big advantage. And I think the problem with this in a PvP game is that it creates massive inconsistency. I understand that Battle Royale by its nature is a bit random at times, and that's okay. But when you're dealing with health and time to kill, I feel like everyone should have the opportunity at least to have the same HP if they find the plates. So maybe I'd just give everyone a 3-plate vest to start with. I'd love to see a couple of one-hit kill headshot sniper rifles in there too. But I think if they do that, they're going to have to slow the bullet velocity down of those particular sniper rifles, make it more challenging, add a bit of drop to them, slow down the rate of fire, for example. Because if you don't, and every bolt action in the game can one-hit kill headshot with insane bullet velocity and not much drop, you're going to end up in a situation like in Warzone 1 where sniper rifles were absolutely meta and you just had to use it to be competitive. And then finally, DMZ. I really like DMZ, but I'd love to see new factions, new missions, more valuable rare items that you could get for your stash and use in the game, more unique rewards for playing that game mode, some kind of deeper meta game than just your inventory. And of course, on that new map, hopefully DMZ is available too. And that's all I got for you guys. Do let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about these proposed upcoming changes? What would you change? What would you keep the same? Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like below to help support me. Thank you. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.